And speaking of Dillon Doyle, so last week, John, you wrote about Baylor still kind of looking for some of that leadership that was a hallmark of that Big 12 championship team last year. Other than Dillon Doyle, who's kind of the most natural leader on this team, who are the leading candidates to kind of step up and fill that void? John, let's start with you.
Well, I think Al Walcott would be a guy. He's a big playmaker. He's a veteran. He's seems to have a very outgoing personality when we've interviewed him. I think he might be a guy. I think Brice Jackson is a guy everybody respects. He can make some big plays for that defense. I think the issue here is that most of their skill people are younger guys, and those are guys who are often the team leaders, I guess. And I don't know, offensively, Blake Shapen, but I think he's still kind of a work in progress as far as his leadership skills. I think Gary Bohannon was a really good leader last year, even though he probably wasn't as skilled as Blake. So I think they're really looking for guys on the offensive side to be leaders.
Chris, what do you say?
Yeah, Brice, I mean, what stood out to me kind of during spring ball and then into fall camp was Gavin Holmes seemed to be that guy on the offense. And he obviously had a tough game against Oklahoma State, but I still think he's the veteran in that group. He's been there, done that. I mean, he's been there for, I think, like 12 years or something. And then on top of that, I heard, and I didn't put in any effort to verify this story at all, but I'm going to throw it out here anyway. I heard that Shapen like took Gavin Holmes out to lunch after that game against Oklahoma State and was just kind of like, hey, stuff happens, put it behind us. And so that's a great sign for a young quarterback, and a young quarterback who isn't naturally vocal and isn't the natural leader that Gary was. So hearing that, and again, not verifying it, but hearing it made me feel good about his progress and the way he approaches the game. But I just don't know. I don't think, for sure not this season, I don't see Shapen being that main beacon leader on the offense. I think probably Gavin Holmes needs to take that, and then Connor Galvin up on that offensive line needs to be able to, he's such a recognizable name. He's been there. He does things the right way. So I think Connor Galvin's another one that can really lead this offense.
Yeah, I think you can have a lineman. It doesn't have to be a skill guy as your leader. I think Baylor in the past has occasionally had some linemen who were stronger voices on the team. I'm specifically thinking of Spencer Drango. Remember him, John?
Oh yeah.
He was a good voice. Specifically talking about Shapen, Aranda in the press conference the other day, Saturday, mentioned that he's growing as a vocal leader on this team, and I think just as he's growing as a quarterback, he's growing as a leader. And maybe lunches with Gavin Holmes, whether they're real or not, are signs of that. But certainly they need. I think it helps when your quarterback is that guy that everybody can look to, because they're already in that position where everybody's looking to them. You're such a big part of the team at the quarterback position. So, I think Shapen needs to become that guy, and probably a couple others, and some of the names that y'all mentioned.